going on. I've asked them not to do anything. So hopefully for the next half hour, 45 minutes, they will
not be super loud.
Abide by my wishes here.
That's all right. I am also going to record this if you don't mind. So I'm going to click record and then I'll introduce you, Debbie.
Okay.
All right. So thank you. So today's CRM strategy session is about customer appreciation and should you do it? I invited Debbie Myers, who is a client and someone that has helped me and currently is helping me do my client appreciation, because although I like to appreciate people, it's just not something I ever put on my to-do list. And I also really get stuck when it comes to what should I do as a client appreciation. And so Debbie, she has amazing skills at being able to find creative, very meaningful ways to give gifts that the recipient then just loves. And it really creates a huge amount of goodwill. So Debbie, I hope I really look forward to this talk because I know that you're kind of talking about client appreciation a little different way. And so I will let you take it away. And Nicole, I guess she could pop in with questions whenever she wants. Okay.
Yes, please, if you have any questions, go ahead and stop me because I'll be happy to answer them. So Mary Sue, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it and being able to talk to your Work Smarter Digital community. As Mary Sue said, I'm Debbie Myers and I'm the CEO of Virtuart. And before we start, talking about customer appreciation, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I grew up in San Diego. And I did my undergraduate work at UCLA and then had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. for a 6-week volunteer job. Well, one thing led to another, and I ended up spending much more time in Washington than I had ever anticipated. But I worked during that time. I worked at the federal government. I worked for the Inter-American Development Bank, which is an international organization that focuses on economic development in Latin America. Then I got the opportunity to go into the corporate sector, and I worked for a French multinational company, an American company, and a British multinational company. But I came to a crossroads in my career, and I decided that maybe it was time to do something different. So I decided to start Virtuart. When I started the business, I started out working with artisans in developing countries and importing their handcrafted jewelry, fashion accessories, and home and office decor items. Then that's when I met Mary Sue, because Mary Sue became a customer of, Mary Sue's been a customer.
Loyal
of mine from the very beginning. Then I made a slight shift and I started working with individuals to help them become what I called more intentional gift givers, really helping them to find the perfect gift for their gift giving occasion. Some of those customers who before had hardly ever gotten positive feedback with regard to their gift giving, all of a sudden became star gift givers. And some of them came back to me and said, okay, now can you help me with a client gift? I'd like to thank them for their business or for their the referral that they gave me. So again, after helping them out, some of my customers came back and said, you would not believe the impact that this gift had on my relationship with my customers. They are more responsive. They call me back much more quicker. They increase the amount of business we do together. I just got a great referral from them, or I just got a great testimonial. So that led me to start to work with businesses to help them show their clients or customers how much they value and appreciate them on a more consistent basis. And I'll talk more about that in a bit. So before we start, talking about specifically why you should show your appreciation to your customers, I want to just let you know that we will talk about why. We will talk about best practices, then opportunities for showing your customers appreciation, and then a little brainstorming on what kinds of things that you can do. And most people, when we talk about appreciation, immediately think about gifts. Oh, I have to give gifts. And that's not necessarily the case. Gifts are one way of showing appreciation, but there are a number of other ways that you can also show appreciation, which we will talk about. And as I often tell my customers, the smallest gestures of appreciation can have the biggest impact on your relationship. So just keep that in mind. So experts tell us that it can take up to 7 contacts with a prospect to persuade them to purchase our product or service. Other experts say it can be up to 9. And then yesterday, I read an article that said it can be up to 16 or more contacts with a prospective before they have gotten to know you, like you, and trust you in order to purchase your product or service. So companies spend a lot of time and resources in this acquisition part of the client lifecycle to acquire those customers.
Debbie, may I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Is the increase in the touches because we are doing it over Zoom and it's virtual?
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes, a lot. Yes, a lot of it is because of that. And the other thing is that people compare. So you're talking about your product, your service, and people say, okay, well, let me see what else is out there. And then they'll go and look, and then they'll come back, and then they'll go out, look, and come back. So yes, part of it is because it's being done virtually. A lot of it's now being done virtually, but also because there are ways, again, because of the internet, that people can compare what your services are compared to others. So you've spent the money and the time to acquire that client. However, 68% of people stop doing business with a company because they don't feel valued or appreciated after they make the initial purchase. So it's interesting that a company will spend time and resources focusing on acquiring customers, but they don't spend time nurturing the relationship with the existing customers that they already have. And in a minute, I'll show you why that is important, and that a business cannot grow successfully without retaining existing customers. So the success rate of selling to new customers is only 5 to 20%. So you spend all that time, you've acquired the customer, they've gotten to know you, and the selling rate to that customer is between 5 and 20%. The success rate to selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70%. So right there, you can see one reason why cultivating the relationships and retaining your existing clients is important for your business. A 5% increase in customer retention can result in a 25 to 95% increase in profit. It's depending on your industry. When you lose a client, you're not only losing the revenue in a current year, you're losing revenue in the future years, because studies show that the longer a customer stays with you, the more that they will purchase from you. And you are also potentially losing any referrals that customer would make to you. Now, these kinds of referrals are already vetted because that referral knows about you. They might not know you personally, but they know about you. They know about your company, and they know about the products and services. So the selling cycle for that type of referral is much shorter than when you're starting with a brand new prospect. It will cost you 7 times more in your business to acquire a new customer than it is to retain an existing customer. So just think about that, because you market differently to a prospect than you do to an existing customer. So your marketing costs continue to stay high versus reducing them, which also has an impact on your profit. And you're constantly starting over in terms of your sales process with prospects, instead of with existing customers talking about your newest products, your newest offers, your newest services. What we all want is to stay top of mind with our customers and our prospects. Now, with our customers, this is where customer appreciation can help you. Okay, so let's talk about some best practices. Starting out, a lot of companies think, oh, I'll just send all our customers a bottle of wine, or I'll just send all our customers a food basket. And that, for me, is companies that are just checking the box, but they're not really being thoughtful about their customer appreciation. So the next few slides will give you what I consider to be my best practices in terms of how to have significant impact with your customers, showing them how much you value and appreciate them. So the first is get to know your customers. Bottom line, you have to start cultivating that relationship. Listen and pay attention to what they do and what they wear. It is important for you to learn their likes, their dislikes, their hobbies, the music they listen to, the movies they go to, the authors they're reading, the sports teams they root for, the sports that they participate in. If they've traveled, where have they gone? Where are they going? All of this information becomes the basis for decisions on what kinds of appreciation gestures you are going to do for your customers. Now, to help my clients, I have developed a worksheet titled 12 Things to Know About Your Customer, which I will make available to all of you. I tell my customers that every time that they're going to have a conversation with one of their clients, to pick one of the items on that list that you've decided that's what you're going to learn about your customer. So, and then you can't ask them directly. You can't say, oh, hey, what sports teams do you root for? Or do you drink red wine or you drink white wine? But what you can do is kind of, take the conversation in that direction. And for instance, like today's Monday. And so there were a lot of sporting events over the weekend. So if you're talking to your customer, you can say, oh, what did you do this weekend? Or did you watch any football this weekend? And if they say, nope, not a football fan. Okay, not a football fan. But if they say, yeah, but I watched baseball. And then the next question is, well, what team what team are you rooting for? And then they'll tell you that. And so that's how you find or you get the information that starts to have you get to know what your customer likes and dislikes. Very, very important.
May I ask a question here, Debbie?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I do have some clients that, as part of their intake, they actually do ask some of those questions up front. Like they kind of position it as, we like to celebrate, and their programs and packages or whatever they're serving lends itself to that, like they reach certain milestones and working together and they want to celebrate them. So they kind of position it that way. You're not saying that you shouldn't do that.
No, I'm not. No, not at all. I am not saying that at all. I am just saying that in addition to any information that you get early on, continue to develop the profile of your customer, because
Got it.
that'll only help you. That will only help you as you are, thinking through what you want to do. And it also, and I'll show later how some of that, how you can use some of that information in very, I don't want to say inexpensive ways that will clearly keep you top of mind with your customer. So it's just, the important thing is however you get to know your customers and how you acquire that information, it's keep it and have it either in the CRM. That's how, that's where I put all of that information, as Mary Sue knows. So put it in the CRM or somewhere so that you can go back and refer to it when you need to. All right. So the second best practice is make your gesture, whatever you do, meaningful to the person that you are giving or expressing appreciation to. Sometimes, as I said before, sometimes people just do something because they think it's what they need to do, and it's checking the box. And if you, for instance, let's say somebody gives their client a bottle of wine. And so the questions are, do you know whether that person drinks? They may not drink. Do they like wine? They may not like wine. Do they drink red wine, or do they drink red wine? If you're giving something that let's say they don't drink wine, then your gift is given to somebody else who doesn't know you, who doesn't know your company, doesn't know what you do, and therefore could care less. They drink the wine, throw the bottle away, and you've had no impact. On your customer, though, they'll say, wow, if they knew me, they would know that, I don't drink wine. So that's why it's really important. You can have as big of a negative impact on your relationship as you can a positive impact with an appreciation gesture. So learning about your customer, getting to know them, will let you then really figure out what would be meaningful to them. I learned that Mary Sue likes owls. And so I gave her, I had from one of my artisans, handcrafted owl from Haiti, and I gave it to her. She found out that one of her strategic partners that she works with loves otters. And so we found an artist who sculpts otters out of clay. So it has a significant impact. And those are the things that your customers will remember always. So make the gesture meaningful to the person you want to show appreciation to. Third, personalize it. If you're giving a gift, put in that handwritten note. If you're sending a note, then relate something back to a conversation that you had or an event that took place, so that the person knows that it is specifically for them. Again, sticks in their mind, stays with them. I have a customer whom we send thank you notes after. He's a mover, and after every move, we send a thank you note to his customers. He has had people come up to him at events and talk to him about the handwritten note that they've gotten from him. So it makes an impression. People think, I don't have time. It makes an impression, and you continue to stay top of mind with your customers. 4, memorable. If you're going to send a gift, wrap it nicely. Put in that handwritten note. In our case, when it's one of if it's a gift from one of our artisans, then we put in a card about how it is, how it was made, where it was made, and who the artist is. Again, like I said before, if you want to thank somebody for something, send them that note, send them a handwritten note versus just sending them an email saying, thank you. They'll definitely open that handwritten note. May not necessarily open the email. They'll just say, oh, it came, it says, thank you. I'll get back to it. And then like all of us, we get busy and we never get back to, to some of those emails. Now, number 4 is make it memorable. And number 5 is send your gesture, do your appreciation gesture at an unexpected time. When something arrives unexpectedly, again, that is memorable, and it stays in, it keeps you top of mind with your customer. I am not, as Mary Sue will know, I am not a big proponent of sending gifts out at the end of the year, because your gift, your card just gets kind of, lost in what I call the holiday noise. Everybody's trying to do something at the end of the year. So my recommendation always is send it, send a card, send your gift, whatever you're going to do before Thanksgiving, or send it in January after the holidays are over and it's kind of the doldrums of winter. People kind of are, looking, trying to figure out, looking forward to spring. Send them something, surprise them. It definitely will be remembered. Another great time of the year is in the summer, because again, most people aren't thinking about sending anything, doing anything in summer, because they think, oh, people are on vacation, they're not going to be around. Again, it will stand out. And as I said before, another time is, late fall, before the holidays, and do something consistently. So if you're going to send your customer birthday cards, remember to continue to send customer birthday cards. Do it once and then kind of gets lost. That they don't remember that. If you're going to think about doing something like maybe twice a year, and it again doesn't have to always be gifts. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but consistently again will keep you top of mind and with your customers. And it may come at a time when somebody goes, oh yeah, somebody asked me about, do I know somebody who can do X, Y, and Z? Your gesture comes up, whether it's a note, whether it's that phone call that you just said, hey, just checking in to see how you're doing, may trigger, they go, oh, I need to introduce you to someone. So unexpected, but consistently. Now, before I will give you an example of one of a appreciation gesture that I just did recently. So I was the guest on a LinkedIn Live. And so I wanted to thank the host for having me. So I was on her LinkedIn feed and I found that she had graduated from Notre Dame and she's a huge, huge Notre Dame fan. So it just happened that I was going to be going to South Bend a couple of weeks after that. So I stopped in the bookstore to see if I could find something that I could give her. And after looking at a lot of stuff with, the Notre Dame logo on it, I decided to give her a mug. So I wrapped it. I put in a personal note thanking her for the opportunity to be on her LinkedIn Live. And I hope that she, enjoyed the gift. And the day she received it, she took a picture of herself holding the mug, sent it to me with an email, thanking me for the gift, telling me that everybody in her family and friends knows she bleeds blue and gold, and that every single time she uses that mug, she'll think of me. And that's exactly what you want, is that when your customer either looks at what you've done or uses what you've done, you want them to think about you and your business. Okay, so opportunities. Here are some of the opportunities that I have come up with, that I talk to to my clients about. So as Mary Sue said, a good time to do something is when you're onboarding a new customer. And you can, again, can just be a card saying, welcome, I look forward to working with you. Or some of my clients do send, kind of a small gift. It can be, as Mary Sue said, the business lends itself that you can celebrate milestones that they meet in their contract. It can be, you can do something on the date that you started working with the customer. So their anniversary date with you. Another great time is to send thank you cards out to your customers on the date that you started your business, and saying, celebrating that you have been in business for X, Y, and Z number of years, and you just want to thank all of your customers for being a part of your success. Mary Sue and I know I have a friend who just celebrated her 6th anniversary in business, and she gave a huge party and she invited her customers. That's clearly another type of gesture that you can do. Personal occasions, meaning that you can send birthday cards to your clients. You can, if they become, let's say they become a grandparent, send them a congratulations on becoming a grandparent. If they've, you see on LinkedIn or in a news article that they've just received an award, send them a note, saying, congratulations, I saw that you just received X, Y, and Z award. If their child graduates from college, you can send them a congratulations card. So if you feel you have that type of relationship with your customer, then that's great times to show again that you are aware of what's happening in their life and that you are acknowledging it. Another great time to do things is on holidays, not necessarily the end of the year, but I have another customer whose favorite holiday is the 4th of July. So we send out cards for her on the 4th of July to all of her customers, thanking them for their business. Another great group of days is the national days. And as we all know, there are umpteen number of national days, such as National Ice Cream Day, National Pizza Day, but there's also World Mental Health Day, World AIDS Day. So I'm sure that there is at least one national day that is meaningful to your customer. So let's say that your customer loves ice cream. So definitely there's a National Ice Cream Day, and there may even be a national, like if she likes Rocky Road Day, or National Strawberry Ice Cream Day. What you can do is send your customer a card on that day, acknowledging that they love ice cream. You can put in that card a gift card to an ice cream parlor so that they can go and get an ice cream cone, or you can have ice cream delivered to their office, or you can invite them and take them out to get ice cream, all on National Ice Cream Day. And it's something that they will not forget. Also, either you can look at the days, and if there's something that pertains to your business or pertains to your customer's business, that is another great time to send a card. I have a customer or client who's working with a group around mental health. So we just sent a card on Mental Health Day, acknowledging their work, thanking them for the opportunities that my client can work with them, and looking forward to helping them to continue to be able to provide the programs that they do to their community. So all you need to go to is nationaldaycalendar.com. And for every month, you just click on the month, and for every day, they will tell you what the national days are for that particular day. And it's a fantastic resource. So that's one I also highly recommend. And
I put in there International Accounting Day is coming up, Nicole, on November 10th, since you're a bookkeeper, might be one.
Definitely. And then the other one that I didn't put up here is just because. You can pick a random day in the year and send cards to your clients just because. Send cards, whatever you want to do, but just because. And again, unexpected, big surprise, and something that they'll remember. So do either of you have any other, opportunities that you think you would be able to do some type of appreciation gesture?
Nicole, do you want to share any, or that came to mind? Putting her on the spot. No, that's okay.
Okay.
I feel like I should be sending something when I know a client has just saved a ton of time, or like I had a client at the summit a couple weeks ago that we made her a lead magnet page. Erica, Nicole, you know her, and she used the lead magnet in her 5-minute talk and got 70 new people on her mailing list.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Exactly. And I'm like, I should be celebrating that as you're talking this through, because that's exactly why you use my system.
Yes. No, that's exactly right. And then she not only, celebrating that what she's done, but she'll tell other people about, what she has accomplished by using your system, which then goes back to the referrals, people who will be interested in what the service you provide, because they know Nicole, they know your customer and what she got done. So yeah, right. No, that's a great time to do something. All right, so let's brainstorm ways that you can show appreciation. So as you can see here, well, first, everybody thinks of gifts. And yes, you can send gifts, but that's not the only thing that you can do. And they don't. If you decide to send a gift, let me tell you, it doesn't have to be expensive, because that's the first thing people think, oh, I have to send something expensive. No, go back to what, the second best practice is: send something that is meaningful. I have a friend who a few years ago got in the mail a painted rock that had on it what do you call it? Something about drinking water, because she was having problems, drinking enough water. And she had told a friend about this. And so this friend went to an artist and had her paint this rock and put this, saying on there about water. And she thought it was was one of the most thoughtful gifts that she had ever received, because here it was unexpected. Her friend had listened to what she was saying, had been thoughtful in terms of, finding or having this, this gift made. And she still, this was 4 or 5 years ago, and she still has it on her desk and she looks at it every single day. So the key is, and I'll tell you another story in a second, but the key is that it's meaningful. So, but you can do gifts, you can do handwritten notes, handwritten cards, you can do phone calls, you can do, Zoom calls. Early in the pandemic, we did for a number of our clients, because everybody was locked down. We would find a restaurant that was near their customer. We would order lunch and have the lunch, delivered to their customer's home. And then they would have, a Zoom lunch. And so it wasn't as good as being in person, but still was a way for them to connect, to catch up, and to have lunch together. Now, I also recommend this book, which is More: Word of Mouth Referrals, Lifelong Customers and Raving Fans by Matt Ward. This book has 41 different ways that you can show your customers appreciation. It's of course, he talks about gifts, but it's like send coffee to your customer's office, or as I said, take them out for ice cream. He's got just a whole array of different things that are not expensive, but will be memorable. Other things is curated articles. You can, if you know that the person, let's say, is going to be traveling to, Spain, and you see an article about Spain, about maybe restaurants or, some new, exhibit or something, just send that link, in an email to your customer saying, I know you're going to be traveling to Spain. I thought you might find this interesting. You can do book recommendations. You can do podcast recommendations, TED Talk recommendations. So there's just a lot of different things that you can do that shows your customer that that you're getting to know them, that you listen to them, and that you're thinking of them. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was speaking to a customer of mine, and in the course of a conversation, he made an offhanded remark that he was a fan of Star Wars. And so a couple months later, beginning of the pandemic, I was on a Zoom call, and somebody had a Star Wars virtual background. And I asked them, I said, where did you get that? And she said, oh, I downloaded it. I'll send you the link. So I took the link, I put it in an email to my customer, and I said, I know you're a huge Star Wars fan. If you want to change your virtual background, you may want to use one of these. And an hour later, sends me an email. OMG, these are absolutely fantastic. I can hardly wait to use them. So it goes back to, the basic steps. So I heard what my customer said. I knew it was going to be meaningful to him. It was unexpected. And then every time he uses one of those, thinks of me, because I got it from me and my business. And again, that's what you want. Any other thoughts in terms of types of appreciation gestures you can do?
Those are all amazing. Something else I've seen is, I know you put video chats here, but you could also do like just a personalized video.
Yes.
That you record and send.
Yes, you can. Absolutely. You can send it in a text, or you can send that in an email. Yes, definitely. That's one. And I had so I was talking to one of Mary Sue's other clients about customer appreciation. And so she was saying that she had just given a presentation, and she realized she was using puzzle pieces, in her presentation. And she said, well, is there any way that, we could, kind of use that? And so I said, well, just came to my, to mine. I said, you could have a graphic, whatever you want, and then we can, have it cut up as a puzzle. And then throughout your process, as at certain points, you send a piece of the puzzle, so that, they start to, to put it together. And then by the end, they'll have whatever, whatever the graphic was. And she loved the idea. She thought that was great. So like I said, there's just a lot of different things that you can do. But as long as you follow the best practices, you will stay top of mind with your customers. Okay, so appreciating your customers creates customer loyalty and brand advocates. People, as we were just saying, people who will talk about you, who will talk about your business, talk about your products and services without you having to ask them. And we're all looking for people who will do that for us. So here's my contact information. Also, I will put in the chat my Calendly link, and I'll be happy to,
not your Calendly link.
What?
Not your Calendly link.
What am I putting in?
Your Work Smarter link, right?
Oh, sorry. My Work Smarter link.
Here, I'll
Sorry.
put it in.
Thank you. Sorry. My Work Smarter link. Anyway, and here's my email address and my phone number. I'd love the opportunity to chat with anybody about, what they're doing, showing appreciation in their customers, help them brainstorm what they could do. Or just to, I love meeting new people and learning about their businesses. So please feel free. So I just want you to remember, appreciated customers, they come back, they buy more, and they refer you. Thank you.
This was great. I mean, I have obviously worked with you. I still learned a lot in this presentation.
Well, I'm glad, Mary Sue, because that's always I always want people who've seen me speak to, I'm going to stop sharing, stop share, sorry. Who have seen, who worked with me or seen that, to make sure that there's still new information that's being shared. So I'm glad to hear that, Mary Sue. Thanks.
I thought the 3 things, one was was it memorable, unexpected, and listen was the first one.
All right.
Nicole, do you want to share anything? Or
I do. So I'm actually been pondering what to send, because I feel like last year I went overboard when I did my gifts. I went so overboard. I got mugs, personalized mugs. I got little plants. Tea, candy, and it was just too much. So this year I like the idea of sending before Thanksgiving or send it in January, where it doesn't put too much pressure on me or whatnot. And and I think I might push towards January and still send something before Thanksgiving, just a customized note of saying something about fall or, something about the seasons. But the personalized one, getting to know them is something. So I definitely going to download your file to build my customer. I know most of my clients, but there are some that I'm still trying to get on the phone and just have that conversation with them, get to know them. So that's good. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like I said, I really, I still have customers who they want to send it, at the holidays, and okay, fine. I'm not going to try and change their mind about that. But you're right. It does reduce the stress. The other thing is that whatever you decide to send is maybe easier to get it, because you're not trying to, to get it before the holidays. So they're, in terms of access to whatever it is, maybe easier. And then the other thing is that I believe, I know that the post office and the other shipping companies increase their prices, shipping prices during the holidays. So the cost of shipping also goes down in January. And I've already seen, I've been to the post office in last week, and I already noticed the increase in prices. And I've noticed it in the past too, but this year they announced it. So, but like I said, people really, when it comes in January after the holidays, and they're kind of, as I said, it's winter, it's been gray, it's cold. It just kind of brightens up their day.
Yeah. I also like, I like to find who can do personalized cards. What some of my clients did when they meet milestones in their businesses, and I see it because I do their bookkeeping, I review their finances. That's something for me that I can actually celebrate with them. So it'd be nice to find someone who can actually design personable cards. Yeah.
Well, we can help you with that.
Okay.
Yes, Debbie, I do Thanksgiving cards because I was born on Thanksgiving. So that's why it's a more important holiday than any of the others for me. But Debbie finds handmade cards that I send out. So I'm not necessarily personalizing the image so much, but I like the handmade, and then we write personal message. But yeah, Debbie does a great job with that. The other thing, as Nicole was talking about, the gifts that she gave last year, I find when I'm in like a program or something and I get extreme amount of gifts, I actually don't like it because I'm like, what am I paying for?
Right.
I don't
Exactly
need. Right. So I do think it's, you have to be thoughtful of just, I don't know, being judicious with your gifts. They don't have to be extreme.
No, I absolutely agree with you. And, I tell or advise, I should not tell, but advise my clients, do something at least twice a year, but no more than 4 times a year. And I have to be honest with you, most of my clients do something 2 or 3 times a year. And that to me is the right number, because you can space it out. And then it's, as Mary Sue says, you're not just overwhelmed, inundated with things. And sometimes you're getting things that you're never going to use, that don't have any meaning, and you end up, a lot of stuff ends up in drawers, in closets, thrown away or given away. And again, then you're just, in my mind, wasting your money, and it's not doing what you want it to do.
Yeah. And I think for women business owners, I feel like I've seen a lot of women business owners that give tons of gifts. It's almost expected. Or I don't know that I expect it, but it is a frequent strategy I see with women business owners. Yeah.
Well, then it loses its impact also, because it's constant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, did you have any other questions, Nicole?
No, that's it. I look forward to speaking with you, Deborah.
I look forward to speaking with you also.
Yeah, it's totally worthwhile having a conversation with Debbie, because she can really, it's like magic. She has a magic touch. She has stopped me from wasting money so many times, because I am definitely coming from technology software companies, like, send people all your swag.
And I go,
your logo blazoned on it.
No, I'm gonna. So my husband just had a birthday, and so we had a party, and so he went to Cal, and he's involved with the Cal, with the Berkeley Law, and so one of the gifts he got was I swear to you, a blanket with the Berkeley Law logo on it, and a baseball cap with the Berkeley. And I thought to myself, really, that was the best that you could do on a birthday gift, is a Berkeley Law blanket? But I'm sure, I know that the person thought that was really just a really great gift. So it goes to knowing who you're giving, knowing who you're going to show appreciation to, and finding that one thing, or 2, but that one thing that will be meaningful to them, and that they'll remember for a long time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for speaking, Debbie. Thank you for actually being here, Nicole.
Thank you,
Nicole. This will be available to review if you want, and also on YouTube, I think. So I have to talk to Debbie about it, but it's not public, Debbie.